Hey everyone, I guess you could call this an emergency edition of Off the Top Rope here on the Off the Mic Sports Network. Like clockwork, like clockwork. This is unbelievable. Just watching NXT, Ricky Starks showed up. Not even a day after it was public knowledge that he was out of AEW, he shows up in the other place. Not even a day. Like, oh my god. Okay, so this was inevitable. Um, Again, he's been off television for almost a year. Almost a year. Like he hasn't had a televised match. So the Revolution is televised. Hell yeah. And if you're one of these AEW idiots who is saying Ricky Starks was mid, he sucks and he's not going to do anything. We don't need him in AEW. Good riddance. Go ahead, keep telling yourself that when your ratings keep going down the tubes and Ricky Starks is out there cutting generational promos and potentially being the NXT champion at some point very soon. Because this guy, I don't I don't know who else needs to hear this. And the fact that it is just a reflection of how screwed up AEW's management is, how you could not find creative or something that works for this guy. I understand that, once Cody Rhodes left and because Ricky Starks is really close with Cody Rhodes, that the writing was on the wall that this was going to happen. But still, find something for him to work. Because listen, if WWE can make, and I mean, it shouldn't have been hard to make Penta look good, but WWE's made Penta look like a star in 5 weeks. Everybody's now all up in arms because he showed up on main event. Who cares? Who cares? He looks like a cool, like, guy that he was supposed to. He was just another background character in AEW. That's what Ricky Starks became. He became a background character. And because, you know, he was really good at promos and ahead of the game in terms of, and he rubbed a couple people the wrong way. Like if you guys think of the Edge promo, that or the Adam Copeland promo that really ruffled a lot of feathers. And but yeah, it's just all these people. Like I saw some people just throwing up his cage match thing. Yeah, Ricky Starks didn't have enough bangers, so who cares? Guys, he's more than just a wrestler. This guy has the potential, given the look, the character, and the way that he does wrestle, because he can wrestle when given opportunities. He just wasn't given opportunities because Tony Khan was mad at him because he was associated with Cody. Cody left, went and became the biggest star in the industry after leaving AEW, a place that he founded. And now Ricky Starks, after what seems like an eternity, is finally back on our screens. NXT desperately needs him. A lot of people are going to be mad that Ricky Starks is not going to be on main roster television. I could give two shits about that. NXT, if there's one weak thing about NXT right now, it is their men's singles division. Because once you get past Trick Williams and Obafemi, there is really nothing there. Ethan Page is now in the mid card with Javon Evans. Javon Evans is really young. Case in point, the NXT title match at the Premium Live event in Washington, D.C. over the weekend is a three-way, a triple threat between Obafemi and the members of 8-Town Down Under, okay? All due respect to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, when you have to bring in main roster talent to challenge for your championship, that is not a good reflection of where your roster is on the men's side. Losing Carmelo Hayes, losing Ilya Dragunov, losing a bunch of these other guys to the main roster. I mean, Dijak, who they didn't have anything for and just called him up and then released him, they could have really used Dijak right now. And who knows, maybe Aleister Black, the former Malachi Black, whenever he's ready, he'll probably go to the main roster. But you know what? They could honestly use him in NXT. But Ricky Starks is going to absolutely flourish in this version of NXT because he, like I said, he's got the look, he's got the mic ability, probably one of the best talkers in the game, and nobody talks about it. And he can work. He can work. And the fact that that AEW could not make this work, and it just tells you this is why I was so pissed off at Tony Khan for just not freeing him. And I talked on this channel for months about this. Just free Ricky Starks. Because what good is it doing you by just holding on to him? And here, like clockwork, they just wait until the WWE releases a whole bunch of people and the narrative is now negative on WWE that they just throw it under the rug, say, quietly, Pro Wrestling Insider reports that all these people who we knew were going to leave are now officially on the outs with AEW. And like clockwork, like almost immediately, Ricky Stark shows up on television. So for you, AEW just palm the ball washers. I'm trying to come up with different words to just you guys are in your own worlds. You guys are Looney Tunes if you think that you're going to be in a better place without Ricky Starks, because there was a lot that guy could have done, and just because you had a personal issue with him and you didn't want to you should have just had given him something. But, because you have shitty creative, no wonder he didn't want to do anything. But this whole narrative of just he sucked. He didn't do anything valuable for us. He wasn't good. He didn't want to put over people. It's like, why do you think CM Punk? That's the other part of this. He was really tight with CM Punk. Ricky Starks was going to do some programs with CM Punk before CM Punk got fired. Just a bunch of nonsense, man. Bunch of nonsense. So I'm excited. Again, the Revolution is televised. Ricky Starks is in NXT. I'm very curious to see what his first program will be. But you better believe that he's going to be, maybe Tony D'Angelo's on the cards, because Tony D'Angelo is still the North American champion. Again, I haven't really, watched the full NXT. I think he's supposed to face Rich Holland. A lot of people just don't like Rich Holland. So, but Tony D'Angelo, as of this recording, and I could get off of this and be completely shocked that Rich Holland is the North American champion. But regardless, Ricky Starks is immediately going to be inserted into whether it be the North American or the North American title picture or the NXT title picture relatively quickly. Because you better believe that. Here's what's crazy about NXT. Ethan Page is there, another very talented guy who a lot of people cast aside and said is mid. Look at him. He's already been an NXT champion. Brian Pillman Jr., Lexus King, is now the Heritage Cup champion. And, even as goofy as he looks, at least he has a character. Sean Spears. Hell, Sean Spears is infinitely more interesting in NXT than he was in AEW. Sean Spears is doing things in NXT. NXT is revitalizing AEW cast-offs' careers and making them look infinitely better in, what conveniently seems like a smaller place. NXT is doing really good right now. So I highly recommend that you watch it. And if you don't know Ricky Starks, for anybody who's come to this channel and heard me talk about it, you're in for a treat. The guy is awesome, and I'm excited to see it. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.